That was good. What's up, everybody? So we're officially live after not having any technical difficulties. We were just bullshitting behind the scenes. That's what we do. So we got some pretty cool peeps here with us today. If you happen to know them, put that in the comments if you do. I do know we have a lot of new folks in our respective audiences. So if you don't know them, let us know because we are gonna give them a couple minutes in the hot seat to give y'all a breakdown of who they are, what they used to do, and what they do now. Right. So we got the infamous Cat Daddy, also known as Thad.
What up?
And then we got the DM Ninja, known as Demi. Them together, they're Thami. All right, this is who they are. So I don't well, since Demi's the only lady in our shenanigans today, Demi, if you could uh, grace us with your words and let us know a little bit about yourself for those that don't know who you are, and a quick little backstory if you could.
Yeah, absolutely. What's up, guys? Thank you for tuning in and watching us live. So, short story is I started in July of 2021, and I struggled for months trying to make things work, right? I started with, I won't even say the name, it's very popular, the single dollar course, right? And after coming to the realization that it wasn't going to make me millions like I was told, and that I felt I had this mission, right? Um, I tried to join Flip's community in November of 2021, and I didn't answer the question, right? Um, so Flip actually hit me with a solid message like, "Hey, you need to answer my question." So I did, and 10 days later, I invested in a different course and with Flip coaching. Um, from that moment, things like completely changed for me, right? Like I started to realize like who I was, what my personal brand was, how to have conversations, right? Had no idea that I could even talk to people that wanted to buy from me, right? Go figure. Um, and then shortly after, after investing with Flip and Nate merged. So I've been rocking with both of them for what? Is it? Has it been a year? Um, over a year now or something. In that time, they've helped me kind of like build business. I crossed my first six figures with both of their help, and then shortly after that, Thaddeus and I had merged, and we created the Triple C's community and our own kind of thing. So that is what I am about. So it's Thaddeus' turn now.
Let's go, Ohio.
Oh my goodness. Like listen, like I'm probably gonna pass it a few times to Thaddeus and pick myself back up because I'm still dealing with this throat shit, but bear with me y'all.
It's that time of the year, getting sick.
It is. We're all going through it. I know I sounded like Pee Wee Herman for a long time. You can say hello. They brushing their stink ass breath again. I love y'all. All right, go brush your teeth. Yeah, shenanigans. Jimmy, thank you for sharing that. It's like every time I hear you say you didn't answer my questions, I always giggle inside.
Well, I didn't. I was invited into your group. I had no idea what group questions were. Like, come on now.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, if y'all got kids, y'all know damn good and well they hit you early in the morning with that stink ass breath. Like we can't even lie, and it's rough, especially when they be drinking chocolate milk. Oh my
Mm.
goodness, that's a whole nother conversation. Well, we're gonna hand it over to Cat Daddy. Cat Daddy, what you got for us, man?
Um, so I guess this is where I tell my backstory. Is that what's going on? I guess. Well, a little bit about me. I enjoy long walks on the beach. Okay, just an occasional nice hot pink cat romper. Okay, some inappropriate jokes. But in all seriousness, I got started back in 2020. Those who don't know my story, I got started at the end of 2020. Got started with a very popular training and quickly found out that that really wasn't for me. Really wasn't the path I wanted to go. Wasn't the way I wanted to handle my business. I did not want to be that person that just kind of pawned somebody else off onto somebody else. I didn't want to be pawned off. So I did not want to do that to somebody else. So it didn't really align with what I was all about. So all throughout 2021, I hopped around from offer to offer, trying to find my thing. I racked up a few sales along the way. It's not like I was just out there just like not making any sales, not doing anything, but it was more about like I feel like I was like David Carradine in Kung Fu, like just wandering, trying to find my space. You know what I mean? At the end of 2021 is when I actually stumbled across Nate Ryan's group, and he sent me a very inappropriate picture, and I immediately fell in love with him. So I immediately jumped into one of his case studies. I've been working with him, hopped into SAA through him, discovered really what personal branding, what offer creation was really all about. And all throughout 2022, completely embraced it, linked arms with Flip at the end of like probably about 2 months after Nate. So Flip, he got the seconds, but it'd be like that sometimes. Um, and then 2021, I started launching my own products, started, really diving into the personal branding, the content creation, like audience building, all that stuff. Just started absolutely crushing it in 2022. Linked up with Miss Demi at the end in like August of 2022 when we launched Triple C's, and just been rocking and rolling with Triple C's ever since, just helping folks, grow their content, grow their audiences, cash in sales, all the good shit that everybody wants to do online. So that's the short and sweet of it.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Shelby, I'm just gonna hit this really quick. This was other people. Demi didn't ignore me. She just didn't answer my damn questions. So she forced me to reach out to her. Right. So I was really gung ho. Like if you didn't answer my questions, I saw that as the perfect opportunity to hit folks up. Like if you really want to be in here. But I did have a lot of other people ignore me for a long time, up to a year. But then they came in and they started crushing. But that was not the case for Demi. Demi was doing her own thing for a couple months, and then didn't answer my questions. And then we became Facebook friends, and she literally came in and started shooting the lights out. I think closed your first high ticket sale in like less than 2 weeks or something like that. Yeah. So yeah, she didn't ignore me. But yeah, thank y'all for sharing that. Now that we're kind of up to speed, I do want to encourage you guys to hit that heart button wherever you're seeing that. Drop us a comment. Let us know where you're watching from. We want to get the engagement up so it gets pushed out to more people in the groups that we are streaming in. Now, also important, like Demi and Thad have a fuck ton of experience being online, right? They know a lot of shit. So do not hesitate to put questions in the comments. We will hit those as we go. So if there's anything that you want to know based on what they have done, put them in the comments. Like we are literally open books. We worked with Demi and Thad very, very closely for quite some time. So put your questions in there. Don't fucking hesitate. We give y'all all the sauce. All right. Nate, you good over there?
Definitely my little twin. Yes. Yeah, I'm good. Just quiet as a mouse.
Oh my goodness. Sweet. So since we got a party of 4 today, we'll actually get 2 parts for each question. Some of them will kind of rickroll and be tied in, but both of you have went through something previous before seeing the success that you wanted to see. So I'll try and play devil's advocate and ask a question that maybe somebody wants to know. So in y'all's experience, what do you think it is that really keeps people from continuing the journey when they say fail or don't get the results that they want out the gate? Do y'all have any particular thoughts of what y'all think it is that keeps people from, getting started, or keeping the momentum up to keep going if they see a bit of failure?
Demi?
Thaddeus, can you go first? I'm gonna go tend to that one real fast.
Absolutely, I got you. So, what keeps people from moving forward when they do taste a little bit of failure? And I want to kind of flip that on its head first and foremost. Failure is only failure if you just fucking stop. Point blank period. Like, you can run into you can run into hurdles, you can run into obstacles, you can run into things that push you back, but until you stop, failure, it doesn't exist. That's the moment that failure actually comes into play. But as far as what happens, I feel like that the reason what keeps people from moving forward is that they have, it's like almost like, I wouldn't say unrealistic expectations, but it kind of is. And I don't blame them. I blame the massive amounts of people online that set the tone for unrealistic expectations. They set the tone for saying, oh, okay, you're going to come in and 15 days later, you're going to be making 10K a month. Okay, well, 15 days later, you've barely grown maybe 50 followers, 100 followers, or hell, maybe you struck gold with an algorithm and you got 1,000, but you're not making 10K a month in 15 days. So when those first little hurdles spring up, like, oh, okay, well, the audience isn't growing as fast. Oh, well, all this sucks. I'm terrible. I should never even started this. It's all a wash. When in reality, just taking a little bit of a microscopic look of what you're doing and making the tiny adjustments. And that's majority of what has brought, I can speak for myself, a majority of the results, from audience growth to sales growth to everything else. It's the little tweaks that you make that wind up being big momentum swings. Like, it's like the tiniest little thing you could do, and then all of a sudden you're just blowing up. We just had a client make this kind of transition recently. Her name's Bethany, and she recently just kind of embraced and made those little tweaks. Before, it was kind of a struggle. She made those little tweaks, and now she's just seeing a massive explosion. High tickets flying off the shelf, it seems like every other day. But when you look at it from that microscopic point of view and make those little tweaks, that's what's going to keep you moving forward. But the moment you say, oh, well, it's all broken, nothing's working, I'm just going to throw in the fucking towel and go back to work, then you're going to wind up, I mean, you're shortchanging yourself, because in reality, nothing is going to happen overnight. Nothing you do today, you will even see the real fruit from until, like, maybe a week from now, maybe a month from now, maybe 6 months from now. But that's the whole thing of this thing, is building that long-term sustainability, and not just trying to get that big dopamine hit of that $1,000 payday. But in reality, you want repeated $1,000 paydays. You don't just want one. So and I'm getting way off long-winded, y'all ask me fucking questions.
Well, I think you bring up a really good,
my perspective on what I think when people think of failure, like what makes them stop and not keep pushing forward, rather than looking at the tiny little tweaks, and that it's not all just fucking trash and all broken. Focusing on, what, all right, well, that didn't work, and that's okay. I can make a change and see if that's going to improve things, rather than just saying, oh, well, that didn't work, it's all fucking trash. Because let's be honest, if you went into a day job and you had one bad day of work and you just quit, well, fuck, you're gonna be hopping from job to job faster than Nate was back in the day before he went online. You know what I mean? No, it's all love, Nate. I'm just using.
I mean, you got a very valid point. For those of you that don't know, the longest I ever worked at a job was 12 months in my life, at one place, because I would just quit and go somewhere else. I think you bring up a really good point, though. And I think a big part of it, without being too philosophical, is it's almost normal. I guess it is normal that a lot of us are like kind of bred to become fearful of failure, and then when failure does happen, it's like wash your hands of it. Right? If you look at the way that we're taught in school, like, you know, you either pass the class or you don't, right? Like you're building up all this anticipation and pressure on yourself that I need to pass this thing, and if I don't, failure is this dirty word, and it's all broken, and like I don't pass the class. Versus like in real life, failure is a part of fucking everything. You're going to fail multiple times. You're going to fail at different things. It's not the end, right? And I think a really powerful thing to think about is like, and I tell people this all the time when they're thinking about starting online is fail faster, right? Fall on your face quicker. Like it's all good. It's not the end of your business. If you figure out what doesn't work faster, it's going to help you in the long run.
Yeah.
I know that's kind of philosophical, and I've said that 2 times in the last 4 seconds, but you know.
So what I heard both of y'all kind of say, and we're getting ready for Demi, because I know Waylon is giving her a hard time. So basically, what I heard from Thad is setting realistic expectations. That's a big one. And when you fail, understand that you're just simply learning what doesn't work, what not to do. So recently, I read something. It was 2 lines that made so much sense, and it said, "Your marketing, you know, you building your brand, posting content. Marketing is simply testing, right? And failure is nothing but data. So the more you test, the better you get. And when you fail, you get data. Data is something that people sleep on, right? I can sit here and tell you my first 3 years, you know, I failed. I took 3 years, invested a fuck ton of money, and I got a lot of data, right? For the longest time, I was like, man, I failed for 3 years. This is no good. You know, I don't know shit. I learned a lot from 3 years of failure. I learned all the things what not to do, right? So setting realistic expectations, giving yourself time to actually learn things, right? Failure is what's going to allow you to be successful. Without failure, you won't be successful, you know, unless you're born with a silver spoon up your ass and, you know, you just get everything that you ever wanted. Now, I'm pretty sure from all 4 of us, we don't come from that, right? So come on with it, Thaddeus.
I just want to add one little bit, and then I'll let Demi to share her insights on the question that was dropped. But I think there's something profound about what you just said, the failure aspect, because you see everybody. It seems like everybody online is this massive success story these days. Like, I've 500K in 4 months. 100,000 in the first 30 days. Everybody is this massive success story. But to be honest with you, I have a hard time trusting someone that's never seen a little taste of failure. I have a hard time like really investing myself in someone who hasn't seen the hardship, who hasn't seen when things go wrong, to know how to fix them, to know what tweaks to make. You know, when you're handed everything and you get blessed by an algorithm like some people do these days. And you know, no hate against them, you know, they're just doing what the rest of us are doing. They just got blessed by an algorithm. But when you don't know what to do when things go wrong, or when things aren't going the way you want them to, how can you ever show someone else how to really have a repeatable process? Because a repeatable process is not just like, oh, post 2 TikToks a day, go viral, and everything's fine. No, repeatable process is like, okay, well, when this happens, and it will happen, this is what you need to do. Oh, when this happens and it will happen, this is what you need to do. Knowing those hurdles from the failures that you've experienced is so much more valuable than anybody that comes in right off the rip and they're making, you know, 6 figures in 45 days. That's my 2 cents on that.
I want to piggyback off of them now that I can talk. Sorry, guys. I got a kid too. You guys all know that. Well, for those of you that know me, he's fucking wild. So be prepared. That's your warning. So when it comes down to it too, like just to add on to what Thaddeus just said, it scares the ever living shit out of me to hear people say, I have my whole process figured out and it's fail proof, right? Because if you have everything figured out within your business, you're capped. There's no room for growth, right? If you continuously learn and grow and scale and experiment and try different things, whether it's a flop or it's massive to you, then that's the way you're going to keep moving, right? Not that you have everything in place and everything can't go or nothing can go wrong, because then you're just stuck. Whether it's 6 figures, or 7 figures, 8 figures, whatever the fucking number is, then you're just stuck, right? There's no room for growth, you know. And I think that's one of the biggest things too. Like, and I'll be 100% transparent. When I first started learning about what affiliate marketing was, I had no idea what it was. I've never dabbled in anything else online either. Um, like I was sold on a pipe dream, right? I was sold on the, hey, make $30,000 a month and with 2 hours a day, 3 TikToks a day, and you're in there, right? I mean, coming from that and then really seeing like what I did in 4.5, well, in 5 months basically, of copying people's funnels, copying the content, really trying to make this shit work for myself. Um, I had the white flag in my hand, right? Like I was ready to give up. But at the same time, I knew that there had to be something else I was missing, right? I knew it couldn't just be everybody's focusing on funneling people into one thing and that's how they're closing sales. There's got to be a different approach to this, right? And I'm not saying that everything that we do aligns with everybody. It's not supposed to, right? But I knew what I was doing wasn't aligning with me. And I'll be damned if I'm going to let myself give up on something that I truly believed in and I believed in myself, over one time of it not working, right? Because I was successful. I did make money, right? Doing that before. Granted, it was $65, but $65 is $65 to me, you know? And I just had to keep reminding myself that the bigger reason of why I was doing this, Granted, yeah, he drives me insane sometimes, and I hear him coming now, but he's ultimately the main reason why I wanted to do this. I wanted to have him home. I wanted to be able to leave the corporate job. I wanted to be able to spend time with him. We're working on getting my husband home, and that's the main thing, is to have the quality time that we wanted, right? So I guess you can blame it on my stubbornness, but I was like, fuck this shit. Like, I'm not ready to give up yet, right? And I looked at my husband the day before we invested in SAA and flips coaching, and I said, if this doesn't work, then I don't know what to do, And by God, it fucking worked. So here we are.
Ooh. I'm gonna say one thing right there, because of what Demi just said. She said, I'm gonna invest in this thing, and if it don't work, I don't know what we're gonna do. Right? What I really heard was, I'm gonna invest in this thing, and we're gonna make it work. So look, I'm gonna say this because we're gonna pull up a question from Jennifer in a second. One, both of y'all just brought some kick-ass insight there. Most people don't do well, and this is also from my own experience. Most people don't do well because they don't make their business a priority. They don't have to. Most people, majority of people, they have a job and they're trying to start a side hustle, right? I really don't even like that fucking term, right? Because I don't do shit on the side. Like, I take shit serious, right? So I never set out to have a side hustle. I was like, I'm gonna fucking make this a big business and I'm gonna help a lot of people, but I gotta help myself first. But people don't make the business a priority, yet they treat it as a hobby or something that they're just doing on the side. But if you come into it with the mindset, here's that woo-woo stuff, Colleen will love me for this, you got to get the shit going correctly between your ears. If you're like, oh, I'm working this 8 hours, or I'm working this 12 hours, and then I'll just do a little bit on this. But then you get home and you're like, I'll do it tomorrow. You're not treating it as the serious thing that it could be. But when you start treating it serious is when you start to see those results. They're like, oh, holy shit, this is what happens, right? You have to make it a priority. If it's not important to you, you're not going to give it the attention that it needs. So you got to have a strong why. Waylon's her why. My kids were my why, right? Me and Demi, we related on so many levels when she first come in, and like, she asked all the fucking questions, but after asking the questions, you never believe what she did. We'll get close and look at you in the camera so y'all can see me. She went out there and did the shit. She went and did the shit consistently and made shit happen. So once you make it an important thing to you and you treat the business as a business and not a hobby, that's when things will change. Now, if you have to get your time and your priorities in order, take a little bit to do that. Look at what you're doing that is not serving you, right? Hate to say it. I do watch Netflix, but I get all my shit done first. But if you're out there watching Netflix and you're scrolling for hours on your phone and you're just thinking way more than you're doing, you're hurting yourself. All right. So make shit a priority. Jennifer's got a really good question too, by the way. I really want to know, what was the deciding moment for both of you? The moment you knew you were meant to be online creating something for yourselves.
Demi?
That shit. That's a hard question. Because I mean, like I said before, when I jumped on TikTok and I was seeing people talk about making money, I was like, well, fuck yeah. I think the number one deciding moment that made me stick this out was when I helped somebody for free build a funnel on Aweber. And we put that into use, and within a week of her utilizing that and like really hitting a different type of content, we were both copying and pasting, but she was being more like talking about her journey and shit. Like she really was like, hey, I think I want to talk to people about who I am. Go figure. Like, why didn't I think about that like back in fucking or August of 2021? Like, but hey, but I helped her build her funnel for free, and within that week, she literally had like 20 new people opt in, right? And the message that I got from her, the excitement, it's like, oh fuck, like I got to help her do this. Like, hold on, wait a second, maybe I know something, right? And that feeling is completely different, right? Like I worked a government job and I helped people in their work days, right? I did food, Medicaid, and cash assistance for the county that I live in, and I got to help people where it counted most, and I was fulfilled there, but it's a different type of fulfillment, because I've always wanted to help people. I've always felt like I was meant for more to help people along the way, and now every day we get to help people in their lives, whether they're our clients or people that are listening to us, consuming the content, whether it's just people going through triple C, getting those type of comments and testimonials and like just the fucking wins that you get to see, like that was the turning factor. It's like I can help people do this.
Love it. It is rewarding. Super rewarding.
Very rewarding.
So for my when was this deciding moment that I knew creating something online for myself was for me? Honestly, mine, I think it happened before I even got online, if that makes any sense. Back in March 11th of 2020 is when I realized that the path I was on was predetermined, and there's no fucking way in hell I was spending the next 20, 30, 40 years of my life on that path. It was why such a specific date. I'll explain. March 11th, 2020 is when the COVID-19 pandemic actually started. It's when they announced it. I remember it because I was at Cheesecake Factory when it happened. Immediately after that, the way I was treated and handled with my employer and how meaningless it made me feel, regardless of how much I invested into the company. And after doing that repeatedly for 40 years, well, not 40 years, like I'm 40 now. I didn't work from day one, but from the moment I was old enough to work, giving everything I had to every company I worked for, only to be shit on when things didn't match their bottom line or didn't match what they wanted, the outcome. You're always going to be that person that's going to be the first one out the door. And that just didn't sit well with me. and I knew I had to do something. It took a while to figure out what that was. There was a lot of fucking grinding and searching online and stuff like that. And I still got the $7.70 from the 8 hours of survey taking I took. Still sitting in an account somewhere, just hanging out, $7.70. But that's when I really realized, like, creating something of my own is the only path for me. I can't continue to rely on somebody else to make sure that I have the life that I want to live, that the missus has the life that she wants to live. That was my driving why. But the second deciding moment was actually when I was in it was right when I think when Flip and Nate created Core, and there was a comment left, and I left a very long voice message, and I immediately got replies back from the two people sitting above me, commending me for the what I had said. I don't even know if they remember it, but I do. And from that moment on, I realized that the path that I'm on, really helping people, really coaching people, really having a hands-on approach of guiding people, is what was the second deciding moment for me, that really aligned with that I'm on the right path, because I can directly impact people both on a personal level and a business level. And to me, that is something that has always been special, and both offline and online. So those are my like two big deciding moments before I even started, and then once I'd already gotten going, that kind of confirmed that I was on the right path.
Y'all some awesome humans. I'll say that.
I mean, it is pretty fucking awesome that both of you are like, both of your main roots and your reasons for wanting to start are about helping other people instead of like, say, buying a Lambo or something like that. I think that's really awesome.
Can't fit a car seat in the back of a Lambo, Nate. Like, come on now.
That's true. I mean, he's big enough. You probably put him in the front seat,
Oh, fuck no. I'm just kidding. Even if you could fit a car seat in the back of a Lambo, like, that still wouldn't be the main goal, guys.
Yeah. I love both of those. And I see another really cool question. Like this is a different question. I haven't seen this asked via duos before, so it's good. All of you watching, I feel like every person in the world at some point has like some kind of different calling. It might be, this spiritual thing, whatever, I'm not trying to get all crazy and woo and shit, but if you look at how most people were raised, like I'm about to be 35, Thad's 40, and then Demi and Nate, they're not old, right? They're not old, but I feel like the way that we're all raised, it's like, hey, you got to go do this, you got to go get a diploma, go get a degree, go to college, go get a job, and you work your ass off, put money in your 401k, and hope like hell you can retire. But that's because that's how the school system is set up. This is a whole different rabbit hole I'm not going to go in, but like I'm almost to the point where I want to pull the girls out of school because I can teach them more than what the school curriculum will. Right? The school curriculum isn't getting people ready for life. That's a fact. All right. Versus the skills that I have learned, the books that I have read, the courses that I have invested in. Here's one more rabbit hole. I don't know why people throw shade at online courses, but they'll go pay 50 grand for college. But here's my point. I feel like everybody has life experience that will benefit other people. And what we all four teach is how to create content that speaks to people and helps them, because there's never been a better way to reach the most amount of people in the world to be able to help them cope with something, or to fix a problem, or to create a solution, or to learn a specific thing. This is what like really puts fire in my soul. Is like, you can make one piece of content and reach thousands and millions of people, at any given point. And you might just fucking save somebody's life, or you might just give them the hack that they needed, or the solution to the problem that they have. Like I was able to use TikTok to reach out to a guy that was thinking about killing himself. Right? I'm not that that kind of content guy, but I saw this comment that was left on one of my videos, and I made a reply video, and that guy we chatted in the DMs, but simple shit like that, like I could have changed the course of that guy's life. He was thinking about killing himself, and now he's not. And his last message to me was, I got chills right now, but his last message was, he's like, "Hey, dude, I've flipped things around. I really appreciate your video. I thank you for talking to me. I'm feeling a lot better. Right? I'm ready to do shit for my wife and my son. Right? And like I'm telling you, mad chills. But in today's time, you've got the ability and the power to reach people and help them in so many ways. And if you get that feeling or that calling or that crazy sense you're supposed to do something else, it's because you are. But if you ignore it, your situation will stay the same. So I love both of y'all's answers because it's directly tied to helping people. And because of that, that's why y'all are being rewarded so well with the work that you've been doing. Right. So I think that's fucking awesome.
And I think it's almost natural for like a lot of us, or I won't make a blanket statement, but like the majority of people in general to aspire to do something greater. Right. So I'll give you guys a really cool story if I can articulate it correctly. So I was picking up my daughter one time, and what I mean by this is like, you know, a lot of people, the majority of people want to do something different with their life. So they want, you know, maybe the freedoms that online business brings. They just don't know how to do that, or they don't have the courage to actually put anything into implementation. So I was picking my daughter up from her mom's house, and they were at her dad's, right, her grandpa's, and you know, he's got a good job, he makes good money, he's got, you know, he works at like a wastewater place, he makes really good money, and we were talking, and he said something to me. He's like, "Oh yeah, so how's everything going? Like, what do you do? Like, you know, I haven't seen him in a couple years." And like, I was basically just telling him like, "Yeah, I make my own schedule. I have my own boss. I create content, XYZ." And his response was, "Oh, I wish I could do that." It's like, you know, you make money, you have a really good job. And his response was basically like, you know, I work a really good job. I get paid all this really good money, but I have always wanted to do something else, but I never have. Right. And he's like, you know, probably like 60. So my point is like, I think the majority of people want to do something, they just don't know how. And like, if you think about it in the way that Flips just mentioned, is we're in a time where the playing field's level for everybody, right? 50, 60 years ago, if you wanted to start a business, you needed to like strike oil, or you needed to invent something, or figure out like some pioneer way to revolutionize an industry or something like that. Whereas now everybody has a fucking cell phone, everybody can create content, everybody can build a personal brand, and you can sell products as an affiliate or create your own products. You can roll out services and like helping people do anything from weight loss to fixing their marriage. It doesn't matter, like whatever you want to do. But I think I wouldn't have wanted to be alive at another time, if we're being honest. Like it's pretty fucking cool.
Hell yeah, without a doubt. So this next one y'all will love. It's gonna put y'all both on the spot against
before you bring up this next question, can I piggyback on what y'all just said there? Because there's some gold in there that like really hits home for me. Both from both of what you said. Are y'all cool with that? Y'all cool if I set up some more air real quick? I'll try to make it as short as possible. So I think it's super cool what Flip said about the ability to touch people and reach people with content in today's day and age. You know, the story he shared about the gentleman he spoke with that was thinking about unaliving himself. That hits home for me because I actually had a very same conversation with a kid that lived in like fucking Ireland. I just want you, I say the country because it's not like it was right down the street. Like I met somebody through a piece of content I posted in early 2021 who dropped that same kind of comment that they were thinking about ending it. So of course, like me being the person I am, hopped on a fucking phone call with the guy, like chatted with him for days and days and days. Like, and I honestly believe that through those conversations, it altered the path that he was thinking about heading down. And it's such a profound thing that we have that ability with content that we create. Now, again, I wasn't that making that type of content either at the time. I wasn't like talking about unaliving myself or sharing the experiences of when I tried it in the past or anything like that. But something in my content spoke to this person and I was able to touch him. I thought it was just a super special moment. And what Nate said about like all those people who want more, but they just don't know what to do, like that really hit home because those final 2 weeks or 3 weeks I was working at the job before I left, I think I had probably easily 11 people, no bullshit, come up to me and talk to me about these things that oh, I would love to do that. I've always wanted to do that. Oh, I've got this passion for this thing, but I've always wanted to do more with it. I'm like, well, what's stopping you? Like, we can do X, Y, and Z. Like, I probably laid out 11 game plans for people. Each individual had their own fucking game plan based on what they had interest in. And of all 11 people, not one person has acted on it. And it is kind of sad that everybody wants that more. And even if they can get that laid out, it does take a little bit of courage and drive to want something bigger. Not just like, oh, I would like something bigger, but I want something more for myself. And that want and that drive is what's going to keep you moving and get you off of your seat and taking action on whatever it might be, whether it's affiliate product, your own shit, it doesn't matter. But it's so profound because my boss was like, I would love to do what you do, but I just don't have the balls to do it. I've always wanted to start my own thing. Another guy, 55, 60 years old, makes good money, fucking owns land all over the place. You would think that he's super successful, but at the same time, always wanted something different. Always wanted something more. But anyways, I just want to share those two stories because it hit home because I personally experienced something from both type of situations. So anyways, bring up the next one.
We're not sorry that we don't go hard on all business. Like we talk about a lot more than just business, right? But appreciate you sharing, Tooth Ad. Y'all are gonna love this next thing I'm about to bring up. Check it out.
I saw that one earlier. It's a good question.
Your name's first. So you get to go first.
What is Demi's biggest strength? Demi's biggest strength, I would say, is her ability to feel, if that makes any sense. So she would probably tell you like, oh, I'm too emotional. She would probably point it out like it's some flaw, but in reality, I feel like that's kind of her superpower, in all honesty, because it gives her the ability to be able to ask questions that other people don't even think about asking, because she genuinely gives a shit. It's not like, oh, I'm just going to ask these questions just so I can give you an offer. It's like, I really want to know what you're doing. Like every conversation she winds up getting into, and we communicate constantly, about clients, potential Triple C's members, Clarity members, everything. But she'll always like have all of this like these deep like feelings, experiences, wants, desires, all this stuff from everybody she talks to, because she genuinely cares enough to ask the questions and genuinely wants the answer, not to just to get to a point, but because she really wants to know. And I feel like that's her biggest strength, even though she would probably say it's her biggest flaw.
I have said that. I said that to you last week. Yeah. So Thaddeus' biggest strength. So his nickname is Scissored for a reason, right? I actually call him the word magician because he has this ability to literally bend the English language and fucking make it like a Lambo, basically, right? Like it's shiny and you just want to like touch it and be like, that's exactly what I want, right? And he firsthand has helped me do this too. Like we literally took those very vulnerable moments of my son Waylon learning how to walk, and like this man does not have children. I did not tell him exactly how it went, right? But he described it to a T through words rather than what I could do by just showing you a video, and that is his biggest. he invokes the emotion that he needs to when it comes to written word, just like, I guess, in a way I do when it comes to conversation, you know. But yeah, the dude is a beast at fucking copy, and when it comes to content and when it comes to really invoking emotions and getting people to move and to raise their hand and be like, fuck, that kind of stung, like I need to talk to him. That is his biggest thing. I know mine wasn't as heartfelt. I'm sorry, that is.
No, it's okay. You answered the question, man.
That's exactly what it is. Like, and for all of you guys that don't know Thaddeus, or for the ones that do, you guys know he is a word magician. Triple C's, we do call him sisters. Half the time he comes on with his robe and his hood, and he looks like a wizard anyway. So.
Yeah.
And I'll even kind of piggyback on.
Awesome question.
I'll piggyback a bit on kind of both of their strengths, because we've worked with both of them for a long time, so we've got to know them on a fairly deep level, and hung out with them in Virginia and caused the ruckus in the Walmart and all that stuff. I will say one of the biggest things that I've seen both of them do very consistently over the last 12 plus months is the willingness to do something even if they're scared. And what I mean by that is, like, even if things don't make sense, even if it's like, fucking, I don't know why I'm doing this. I probably, like, you guys told us maybe we should do something this way. Like, we're just going to do it. Right. Like, and the reason I'm bringing that up is because it happens a lot in business, but I think I don't even know if both of them realize they do it, but the courage to continuously take their shots, like, I guess would be the terminology for it, or implement the stuff or do the work, even if it's not going as planned as fast as they wanted to, or if they have an internal feeling of like, hey, this isn't working, they still fucking do the things. Right. And I think that's a fucking really powerful trait to have as a whole. Right. Like, I thought Demi was going to say something.
I am. I was going to like comment on this. I can't click it. It won't let me, but Thaddeus was like, whatever he sucks, like, bull fucking shit. You tell me to own my shit all the time. It's your time to own your shit.
I'm just over here having fun with two screens.
Sorry, I was reading while and listening at the same time. But Nate, you're exactly right. There has been more than one moment where Thaddeus and I have like sat right here or in Messenger, and we're like, "Fuck! Like, can we do this? Like, are we able to make this happen?" There have been multiple times that I have reached out to him, like, "Hey, I'm terrified to do this, but I know we have to," and it's almost the same type of conversation every single time. Yeah, like, we're scared shitless, but like, let's just show up and do the goddamn thing, and that's exactly what it is, So yeah, I mean, no matter how scary the moment is, if you don't try, you never know the outcome, right? I mean, I'm not saying that everything that we have launched has been immaculate. It absolutely hasn't. Fuck, one of our most recent launches, fucking Facebook and StreamYard both went down midway through one of the days. So we had to like hurry up and scramble. It's not going to be perfect. It's all about doing it messy. That imperfect action is going to be one of the biggest things to keep it moving.
Totally agree. I'm gonna pull up something that's not like directed towards anyone, but I think this was back when I was saying like you'd be surprised at what like can happen, when you put some focus into it. Same thing for Jeanette. Jeanette and Jill, they've been crushing it, doing their own thing too. And I want to not really put Demi on the spot, but I'm put Demi on the spot a little bit. So when Demi came in, I mean, I'll let Demi, tell her truth, if I'm lying or not. I told Demi everything that was going to happen if she did all the things. Right? I told her, she would build the thing that she wanted to build. She would see the success that she wanted, as long as you show up and do the stuff consistently. So I've been seeing a a pattern with certain folks, Demi being one of them. I also share the empath trait. It's like a blessing and a curse. Like I hate watching a TikTok video or listening to someone talk or watching a movie and I get all emotional because like I feel all the shit from people. Right? Like I feel the shit. It's a blessing and a curse. I kid you not. But Demi, like, would you say that I'm telling the truth here? I told you the shit that was going to happen, and like it's all happened, respectively close to how I said it would happen too. But I think that's a true testament of hard work, grinding, showing up when you don't want to, asking questions when you're not sure about something, and just doing the shit scared. So I'll be honest here for a second too. I wake up nervous, scared, anxiety every day. But I also say I'm not scared. I'm excited. I'm not really anxious. I'm just looking forward with excitement to what can happen, what can be. Every day is a new day. Every day is not going to be a good day, right? But you can't let a bad day ruin your week. You can't let a bad week ruin your month, or a bad month ruin your year, and vice versa. So, like, if you focus on shit and like you're willing to play longer and work harder, like you can't lose. Like I tell folks all the time, like bet against me. I want you to. You're gonna fuel the savage empath that is Flip Moss. Same thing for all of you guys. Like you want folks to bet against you. I used to be mad when I'd get like comments from haters and shit, and now I'm just like, I'm sorry. Bless your heart. You must hate your life. I'm sorry. I could help you, but that thing between your ears is broken. Yeah. So yeah, like bet against me, and I'm pretty sure y'all think the same way.
Oh yeah, like so. Flip was very patient with me. So if for those of you that don't know, I had to take out a loan to invest in SAA. I didn't have the 3,000 just laying around, right? And I remember one night, like I told him, I said, hey, like we should be able to close this tomorrow, so let me get back with you then, you know. And I told him, I said, I'm nervous that this isn't going to go the way that I want it to. And this was like the second or third time that he told me it. And I'll be 100% transparent. The first time he said it, I was like, okay, sure. You're just telling me this to make me move this process along, right? And Flip, I am very sorry if you take that a different type of way, right? But he had told me, you know, if you put your head down and you go to work, you implement, you show up, you lean on the people that support you the most, things will be a hell of a lot different in the next 6 to 12 months. And I would say that they actually moved a little bit faster than what you originally said. And when I showed up, I asked the question. I asked the hard question, right? I leaned on the support that I had. I just showed up. I did the shit, you know. And it makes it really hard for me to like lay this out to people. Like you guys can all ask Thaddeus. I tell him all the time, it's hard for me to talk about the process that I have at hand because I just did this. I did the fucking shit. That's what I did. I worked hard. I put my head down and I showed up. Obviously, there's a lot more inside of that, right? But and I mean, that was November of 2021. I left a corporate job in February 18th of 2022, right? Because I was knocking on my yearly salary from just November 10th of 2021 to February 18th of 2022, right? Let that sink in. I made $30,000 a year at my corporate job, right? And then in 9 months, so July 31st was the day that I hit 6 figures in sales online, you know, of 2022. So it moved a hell of a lot faster than what Flip said. But at the same time, I took shit into my own hands, right? I showed up. I asked the questions. I did the work, you know? And I'm not going to sit here and lie and say that Demi had it all figured out and never got in her fucking head because goddamn, like this time last year, Thaddeus and I were chatting, and I told him, I said, I'm gonna have to go back to work. The fuck, you're not going back to work? What are you talking about? Right? The three of them saw me fall on my face last August and September, you know, and that was the hardest pavement hit that I've ever felt. And I didn't know if I was going to stand back up, right? But here I am. You know, we all have to go through shit. You all have to learn through shit. You all have to show up and just do the things. Like, and it really ultimately, it's kind of like what Flips mentioned just a little bit ago. Well, what all three of them mentioned just a little bit ago. You know, it's about showing up and wanting to do better for you and in the future, right? Because if we all sit back and allow ourselves to kind of be stuck in just how we were raised. Guys, I'll be 100% transparent here. If I allowed myself to get sucked into how I was raised, I'd have a needle in my arm and I'd probably not be sitting here today, right? And that's the God's honest fucking truth. You know, but I wanted better. I wanted better for my little boy. I want to get my husband home who works fucking 100 hours a week, right? The man deserves to be home. Not only that, but it stops suck after that long of a fucking work shift. Right? For those of you that are blue collar or have spouses that are blue collar, you know what the fuck I'm talking about. Right? But that's exactly what it is. You know, show up, ask the questions. There's no dumb questions. Don't be afraid to like really be who you are. You know, I think neither one of us got here from being somebody that we weren't. You know.
Demi hitting on that deep shit. Demi, since you're on the roll, I'm gonna skip all the way down because this is a good question. I'm gonna skip all the way down to the bottom right here. All right, y'all ready? Check this out. What return have you had on your $3,000 investment, and how long did it take? Even though she just answered that a little bit, I think there's more to this answer other than ROI in terms of monetary gains. So if you could break that down for us, if you would.
Okay. So the math is not my strong suit here, guys. But to be very honest, so I invested $3,000 on November 10th. By December 3rd, I had doubled that investment, right, in profit in my pocket. In 87 days from that, I had $10,000 in profit in my hand. And now I don't even know what the exact. I know we're close to like Thaddeus. What are we close to combined? Like 800.
He knows it. He knows it all the way down to the penny.
What
He
number?
does, dude. Like the dude is a fucking asking.
I got the number. What number do you want?
Like we collectively, like we're knocking on that milli door when it comes to sales, right? In profit, it's probably I don't even fucking know. I'll just say this, like this time now, like I've been out of my 9-to-5 job for over a year now. And in profit, I've probably done 6 years of work at an annual job that paid me $30,000.
So about 180 grand roughly. You know, not even 2 years. That's like profit. Now aside, like money's fucking awesome. We all use that in our marketing. We have to tell our stories, etc. But to me, what I think is really cool for Demi is like one, she got out of a stressful job, right? Like how many of you would pay $3,000 just to get out of your stressful job that you hate going to every day? Like, let me know. Like, do you have a job? Do you get micromanaged? Do you have folks that don't respect you or your value that you bring to the company? I know not all companies are bad, but I feel like, you know, I'm pretty sure Thad feels me on this. Nate, I don't know if you're at jobs long enough to like get to that point, you know what I'm saying? I'm just picking. Y'all know how we do. But for me, it was the same shit. Like I put a lot of time in the company I was at, and because I chose to put family first during COVID, I no longer was the leader that the company needed because of what I valued the most. And that company helped me do a lot of awesome stuff. I bought my house, I got out of some debt, and built a lot of cool relationships. I led a team of some really cool guys. But what Demi just said on the money side, super cool. It's fucking awesome. We all need money to live and survive. But I think the biggest thing is her driving factor, which is her why. She's at home now. She's at home. She makes her own schedule. She gets to get up and run behind Waylon every little door he opens and hits her with stuff and all that. Like that's it. That's the biggest gain, and it's not directly tied to monetary wins, right?
No, I mean, and this is something I saw this question or comment. It's clear up there. I can't go scroll for it. If I do, I'll scroll off. But there was a question about what the bigger goals for Thaddeus and I are, you know, and now it's really like laying it out. Like, what do we want? What do we want to do next, right? Like, what is the goal that we are following right now? You know, both of us want to get. Thaddeus wants to get the missus home. I want to get my husband home. I want to get the fuck out of Ohio. You know, and now it's all shaping out to play. You know, it's not all because of the money. It's because of what we do for our people that spend their hard-earned money with us, right? Think about that. And Thaddeus said this best, and I remember the day that he said it. These people, I shouldn't say that. The people that trust us, our clients, the students of Triple C's, Profit Pathway, right? Fucking OBW, you know, the students that trust us enough to invest in us with their hard-earned money, like that says something right there. And none of the sales that either of us have made have come from high fucking promises. We don't guarantee money. We don't guarantee results in 90 days, right? You can't blink and make 100,000 online, and we're not going to tell you that. You know, it's all been like the fucking process that we've taken. Thaddeus has been online longer than I have, right? He's seen a lot of shit. He's also invested in a lot more shit than I have, you know? And that was one of the things that we both didn't want. We didn't want people to think, oh yeah, like they're going to make me millions of fucking dollars. I'm not saying that we can't get you there, right? What I'm saying is it's going to take work. And we're not going to promise you that in 3 years you're going to hit $1 million, right? We can aim for that fucking goal by all means, you know, but like as long as you show up and you lean and you ask the questions and you do the work, like we're happy to help push you there, you know?
Yeah. Love it. Freaking love it.
And I think the thing that a lot of people, there's a big disconnect with like online investments, and like the cool thing to think about is like we're talking about ROIs and acquiring skills online is they're fucking forever. If you learn how to market, you learn how to sell products, you learn how to talk to people, you learn how to create content, those never go away, right? Like it's almost crazy when you think about it, right? Because similar to Demi, like even though I only worked for 18 days in my life, allegedly, you know, like I only made $22,000 a year, like working a full-time job in construction, like breaking my body, to acquiring skill sets where we charge $1,000 an hour, $500 an hour. Like that's fucking insane. And it all started with a personal development investment, right? Investing into myself, acquiring some type of skills. And you hear about it all the time online, like learn high income skills. And I'm not saying that on like a placebo level, right? Like just go out and learn skills. But the reality is like people overlook the fact that, you know, you invest, say, $3,000 into something, right? Like, yeah, you might not get an instant ROI in 60 days or, 90 days or whatever. But think about what you are actually acquiring as a whole over longer periods of time, right? Yeah. I fucking struggled for 3 years. I blogged, I YouTubed, I ran a digital marketing agency. I spun my wheels and invested multi-5 figures into programs and products. But that also means I have so much fucking knowledge with a bunch of different things online that I still know even to this day. I know how to go write a blog post. I know how to do a YouTube video. I know how to run ads. Do I do them in my business? No. But my point is, once you start learning and you start acquiring skills, you have them forever. Right? It's not like they just go away. It's like when you ride a bike, right? It's hard as fuck at first. Like shout out to Jennifer because she's said that to me like 17 times in the last couple of days about riding a bike. So it's fresh on my brain. is it becomes habitual, right? Like when you go get on a bike, you just ride the bike, right? Like you don't think about riding the bike, and putting a bigger energy onto getting those and acquiring those is kind of what will end up changing your life, especially when you lean into them. So I totally scored off and lost my train of thought, but cheers.
I mean, and to piggyback what you said, like to be honest with you, you're 100% right. Like I feel like that the high income skills are leveraged more like buzzwords versus what they really are. Because you're 100% right. That $3,000 that I invested into SAA, that even the $10,000 I invested into a very fucking subpar coaching program, I still walked away with information with stuff I can still implement that I can leverage on, whether it's in the business I'm currently running or someone else's or something else I want to do a side project around. All of those skills that you acquire, as long as you put them to use, you're getting an ROI. That is your ROI, is whatever the outcome is of putting the skills into motion. But that's I feel like that's like the biggest thing. Everyone throws it around. High income skills, high income skills. I saw a TikTok the other day, someone talking about it. I went and clicked on their link, and it was still like generic as fuck. Like you don't even know the high income skills that you were talking about in your video, but you were throwing it around like this fucking buzzword just to get people hyped up. Oh shit, high income? Fuck yeah, I want some of that. $7, I'm all in. Sorry, I'm getting off on a tangent here, but you're so right. There's so, as long as you put them to use, you will always get an ROI from your investment.
Boom. And one more piggyback. Here's a way we always talk about bringing in real world examples. So like, there's a lot of folks in my group, probably all y'all's groups that haven't started, that just kind of like lurking in the shadows and just silently watching this, that, and the third. So y'all don't have to put this in the comments unless you absolutely want to, but more so keep it in your brain. Think about what you make per hour at your job, whether it's $10, whether it's 15, whether it's 20, 30, 40, whatever. Think about what you make an hour. All right. Now I want you to ask yourself, do you feel like you're worth more than that hourly rate based on what you do? I'd say 100% of people will say I'm worth way more. My time is worth way more. All right. Now, why do you think that? You likely do a lot of things at your job. I know, with the bonuses and stuff I was getting at the plant, I was averaging like $51 an hour. There's people in my town that will never, ever make that kind of money per hour. It was great money, but at what cost? Right. That was really good money for me at the age I was, but I was never home. I was only home long enough to eat shit and sleep. And I didn't have enough time to do that. So that $51 an hour didn't mean shit, which is why my plant manager, I was one of the higher paid supervisors there. And I ran a team of about 50 guys. And when I told him, I said, hey man, I'm putting in my 2-week notice. He said, well, where are you going? How much are you going to make? I knew right then, like that wasn't even important. I took an $80,000 pay cut to go work a normal hour job, like 8 to 5. I took an $80,000 pay cut because it wasn't about the money. It was about the time, right? That's a big one to me. And another lesson I've learned the hard way was when I was first getting into entrepreneurship and going hard into things. I was willing to sacrifice family time because I had been doing it for so long at the job. So I was willing to go hard on me so I could build something of my own. But now my perspective is completely different because the way that all of us teach things is put the most important things first, which is family time. It's one thing you'll never get back. Time in general is something you'll never get back. But the 2 years I missed with my daughters was not worth $51 an hour. The time that I missed with my daughters is priceless, which is why I've made it a point to not miss a damn thing the last 3 years. Yeah. Crazy, right? So my point here is what you get paid by the hour. If you feel that you are worth a lot more and your time is worth a lot more, yet you don't take a step to learn different skills, because how do you get raises at a job is learn different skills and take on new responsibilities. Now, 3,000 has been thrown around, right? I invested in SAA when it was 1,500, right? I got the full shebang for that amount, right? And then I saw like 3 different price increases, but I had to sell my lawnmower to get it. Now, as a man, I've told this story. As a man, when you sell your lawnmower, like, yo, you some serious shit, because like we take our lawn serious down here in the South, okay? But I sold my lawnmower because I saw the value in the skills that I was going to learn. That 1,500 has turned into like $2 million in sales. 1,500 bucks. I've learned skills and helped other people. Like these two fine folks here, they quit their jobs. I played a small part in that, right? They did the work. I just helped. Other people, like I don't know how many people at this point, but the sales that we can track, it's about $2 million in sales from a $1,500 investment to allow me to build a brand to reach people and find more people like me and help people. So that 1,500 is what allowed me to up what my time is worth in like 100x or more, right? It's no longer $51 an hour. We got a 3-day work week where we go hard: Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Friday through Monday, we chilling, right? Bare minimum, talking to folks, making offers where it makes sense, content, and then deliverables for our coaching programs. I made a decision, just like Demi did, just like Thad did, just like Nate did, just like a lot of you here with us today did. You just got to look further. Like we're talking about 10-year plans, right? Where are you going to be in 10 years? You're going to be at that same job, capped out on your pay? Or are you going to make a decision for the next 2 to 3 years, work on yourself, raise your level of value and what your time is worth and what your skills are worth? Because then you get to pick and choose and you're in control of your cash flow. People can hit me up for damn near anything, just like the rest of these folks here on this 4-way screen. Folks can hit us up, and the skills that we are able to teach, they're worth a lot of money. And with that money, you can buy back your time. For real. Some food for thought.
Question here: who started / runs SAA? What does it stand for? What does someone get in a nutshell from SAA? So SAA is from Jacob Karras. All 4 of us work closely with Jacob Karras. Shout out to that dude. The Jesus of Australia. That's the co-creator of Super Affiliate Accelerator is what it stands for. You got Jacob Karras, Jamie Gardner, and Chris Donnelly, kind of like a powerhouse of a trio. Jacob has basically obliterated the affiliate game and online business in pretty much everything that he's touched, from Legendary Marketer to ClickFunnels Dream Car, 100K days, stuff like that. So that's who runs SAA. If you actually are in either any of these groups, he's actually probably in all of these groups besides one. Or just give him a quick search. Not even to sound philosophical or anything like that. Like, you could probably get more literally just from watching his YouTube channel than most creators give you, because he's dropping the sauce 24/7. Yeah.
If you don't, selfish plug here, if you don't know who Jacob is, go and look him up. I and as well as these other fine folks, we owe a lot of our success to him, right? What I learned from him has allowed me to get to where I'm at today, which is why we still give him money every month to consult with him and work with him closely. Okay. Jacob's a stand-up dude, and we'll always support that guy. I don't see us leaving from working with him, even though we learn from other folks as well. He's played a huge part into getting us where we are today, hands down. It was really cool that he's the one who pushed us to create Group Juice based on what we were doing. And when I said, yeah, we got that Group Juice, that was how it was born on a coaching call. He said, all right, you guys need to create an offer around that. And that's how Group Juice was born. He then very quickly seen the success coming out, when we first launched, and he actually ran a promo and promoted our program. So that was really cool too. But if you don't know who Jacob is, go and check him out. Tell him we talked about him, and tell him I don't like his hair because I'm bald and he's got a lot of it. So send that message too, and we'll be good to go.
It's that hair envy.
Rapid fire questions, because I didn't even know it's been 90 minutes already. Did not feel like it. Maybe because we've been having a good time, shooting the shit and whatnot. But if you got any rapid fire questions where you want Demi or Thad to answer in 60 seconds or less, put them in the comments right now. If you've gotten any kind of value, or if you think we're just full of shit, put that in the comments too. We accept all criticism, and our skin is very thick, and you can't hurt our feelings just because we don't work that way. We'll just give you a bless your heart and kick you out the group if you say some bad shit. We don't care. But yeah, if you got value from it, put that in the comments. We appreciate all of you that have hung out with us. Rapid fire questions. Anything y'all got for Demi and Thad? Now's your time to put it in there.
Got any questions, Waylon?
Any questions, Waylon?
You say hi.
He said nope.
All right, first one. We'll go around the room if you like. If you had 30 days to make an ROI on your investment, what would you do? I'll go first, just because I like questions off the dome piece. If I had 30 days to make an ROI on an investment, right? So we'll just go generic. If I made some kind of investment, I would look at the things that I knew, and I would immediately start producing content around the things that I knew to build my audience. Now, within that audience, I would look for a commonality when it comes to a problem, right? Whatever their problem is, big or small. And then I would look to pull, 5 to 10 folks within that audience that I built based on the content from the problems that I could solve and the skills that I had. And I would look to work very closely with those 5 to 10 people with a very specific outcome, right? Based on what I could help them with and the problem that I could solve. And I would make an offer based on that. I would make sure that they knew, within the content I was creating, probably 3 to 5 pieces of content per day on any respective platform, especially short form video. And within that content, I would build an audience in 30 days. I know I could do it. I did it before multiple times. And I would look for 5 to 10 people that had that problem and they wanted to solve that problem. I would make sure that the problem they had is something that I could, without a doubt, solve. And I would make sure that the outcome would be worth their time. That is all I would simply do. I would go hard on building an audience, and I would go hard on making sure that the people within that audience knew that I could help them with a specific thing. And I would make public offers. I would chat to them. I'd build relationships and make offers to those people. That's exactly what I would do.
And I'll totally probably just repeat flip here, but if it kind of depends on where you're at in business, but let's like make a hypothetical, and I know this isn't you specifically, Steve, so I'll just make this as an example. Would be if I was brand new, like just starting online, what I would probably do is look at three or four of the biggest problems that I've seen or things that I've ran into. Like, hey, what is affiliate marketing? How to start an online business, like content creation, basic stuff, how to build out the infrastructure of the business. And then, as Flip mentioned, I would probably put together an offer that's going to help people do those 3 or 4 things, right? And I'm going to be okay with breaking even on the front, right? So if we're talking about, if I had a 30-day window, I would potentially look at maybe doing a bit of a lower ticket offer or like $100 product or a $50 product for say 10 people to try to break even on my initial investment. But then what that's going to do in the long term of things is it's going to allow me to build relationships with the people that buy. And then more than likely they're going to ascend. We're going to build a relationship. We're going to buy something else. But I'm going to go hard on like Facebook Reels, profile content, right? Posting Facebook Reels, building up that following fairly quickly. And then I'm going to get into the inbox with everybody who starts following and engaging on my content and having a chat about the actual offer that I just talked about, right? That's going to be the most proactive way to start picking steam up in your business as fast as possible. Instead of like, I'm going to post content, I'm kind of just going to kind of sit on my hands. That's kind of the way that I would tackle it. Or even removing the piece of putting together an offer, obviously that can help, in just hammering affiliate products that solves a specific problem, like on a lower ticket basis, so I can start getting paid to build relationships with people, right? If that makes sense.
It definitely made sense. And I mean, without sounding repetitive, I would definitely, if it was going to take 30 days to get an ROI, obviously very much like what Nate said, it really would depend on where I was. If I was brand new, if I had some experience, if I was starting over today, if I was making an investment today with all the skills that I have today, the first thing I would do would be focusing on creating that offer. I'd probably spend a day or two, really diving in and seeing where the nooks and crannies of problems actually exist. Very similar to the way that Demi and I launched Triple C's. We saw a problem, we put something together, people wanted it. Made it very hyper-focused targeted content on multiple platforms and multiple different formats, video and written, in order to really shine a light on the problem, and then spend the next 30 days hammering it. Again, anybody who's engaging, anybody who's commenting, I'd be testing out different copy with some lead gen type of posts. With as far as videos goes, I would be testing different lengths. I wouldn't just sit in one little pattern. I'd be testing some shorter stuff, maybe some more clickier stuff to try to generate some buzz faster. I'm not saying make clickbait content or gimmicks or anything like that, but it would be more of the curiosity base, less high detailed on some of the short form stuff. And then just focus heavily on generating as much attention as possible, and then getting that offer in as many hands as possible. Again, probably something in the low, maybe mid ticket, because I would be focusing on the ascension on the back end, and then that long-term bank, so to speak. But that's what I would do in that 30 days. Just go hard as fuck, hitting all the platforms, testing out different shit, making sure to get that offer in as many hands as possible, getting that feedback too along the way.
I think it's less intimidating for a brand new beginner too, to like, I know that's a big problem that I created in my own business when I was first starting. Like, oh my God, I got to sell a $3,000 product. That's fucking scary. Versus like, oh, I got to sell $100 product. That's fucking, it's a breeze.
Yeah.
It's not, I think the thing like, now that I'm further along in business, it's not necessarily any harder, but I think maybe leaning into a lower ticket in the earlier stages can be beneficial because of those internal disbeliefs or lack of confidence or conviction in the actual product or sales itself, because there's less commitment, right?
Yeah.
Air quotes. I don't know why I did air quotes, but
I want to add something in real quick. I know a lot of folks have dropped off and stuff because we're all long-winded sons of bitches. But honestly, what you just said, Nate, it's like, oh, I gotta sell this $3,000 thing, or oh, I gotta sell this $1,000 thing, and to us, it kind of hits different, especially in the beginning stages. But yet, all of us in life will go and buy a $150,000 house. We'll commit to a $150,000 investment, that you're going to pay a mortgage monthly, or you're going to get that $20,000, $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 vehicle where it's going to be a $400, $500, $600, $700 payment every month. You don't bat an eye at that because it's normalized. So like people are buying super expensive things every single day. So I'll leave you guys with my quick thought on this. Either you can choose to be a forever consumer, or you can choose to be a creator. Right? I chose to be a creator a long time ago. even before I knew what a real creator was. Now, I create things that consumers need and consumers want that allows them to get the things that they truly want or desire. So, like, people buy expensive shit every single day. $3,000 isn't shit to some people. $100,000 isn't shit to some people. $1 million isn't shit to some people. So it's like when you build your skills up and you start learning, different things that you can do, different skills, different services you can offer, your confidence levels go up. Like I have no problem saying, hey, you want to work with me for a year? That's going to be $48,000. I'm going to help you build a multi-six-figure business. I don't have no problem saying that, right? Hey, it's going to be $1,000 a month if you want to do the thing that you said you want to do, right? Hey, you want to come into Group Juice? It's $1,000. Right, you'll get us every week, every Tuesday, and we jab on stuff just like we did today. Like I have no problem saying that because I too have invested. Between me and Nate, we're well over $100,000 in investments. So I don't have any problem asking someone else for that same amount. I'm in a different bracket than most people, right? But I did not start there. I start thinking, Amazon was a scam. That was Flip's take on Amazon when it first came. Like, bullshit. You can buy anything on Amazon? Fuck out of here. But carry your Walmart, Food Lion. But now it's like we're in the biggest digital era that the world's ever seen. There's really no signs of it slowing down. So it's like I think everyone to a certain extent should invest in shit that they know. If not, and you don't adapt, you're going to get left behind and you'll continue doing the same things that you're just unhappy with every single year and repeat the process until you get to retirement. And then you're going to regret all the shit that you didn't try. I'm not going to be on my deathbed saying, I wish I would have did more, right? I'm going to be on my deathbed and saying, hey, I did everything I wanted to. There's my end thought for you guys. Like, call me crazy. I don't give a shit.
Well, and all you, I can't take credit for this, but I saw a video the other day that kind of hit me like a ton of bricks where somebody was talking about like, oh, your products are too expensive. Your pricing is too expensive. Like you should charge less money. And her response to this was, you realize there's people out there taking second jobs so they can afford Taylor Swift tickets. Right? Like if they want it bad enough, they're going to fucking find the money and they're going to pay for the services.
Oh my goodness. Yes. How huge is that? Like Nate just nailed it. You'll find a way to buy whatever you really want to buy. Whatever's important to you, you'll make it happen. So I'm gonna throw this out real quick. So when someone buys SAA at 3K, is it you guys who teach it or is it Jacob? So it's a step-by-step module, right? It's like so many different training videos on so many different topics and different areas of expertise that you'll be learning. Personal branding, high ticket affiliate marketing, how to sell, how to generate leads, like literally the whole nine. So there for a long time, I was helping Jacob super closely. But as our business kind of exploded, Jacob was very understanding. I had to step away from that role. He said he kind of expected it, but I still show up from time to time on the Tuesday coaching calls. It's usually Jamie and Chris, but Jacob is the one who is teaching the training. Chris is the copywriting guy. Jamie is the sales guy. Jacob is the head of it. So I'll throw this out there for anyone who is considering this. Sit on it, chew on it, whatever you need to do. If you wanted to come into SAA at the 3K, I'm glad to send you over information on it. And if you see it and it makes sense and you want to pull the trigger, me and Nate, we will throw in Group Juice as a bonus, right? So that sells at $1,000 right now. It goes up to $1,500 June 25th. But if it makes sense for you and you pull the trigger on it, we'll throw in Group Juice so you'll have even more support and more of how we turn the Facebook organic marketing on its head, right? That's what Group Juice has done. So there's something you can chew on for anyone who happened to be watching.
It's not necessarily the step after Group Juice. It's a completely separate entity. It's a different program, different product. It's like from different people, right? Like same with Thad and Demi. They got triple C's. They have their own products, their own suite of offers. We have our own suite of offers. That's Jacob's suite of offers, right? They're different things. They're different ecosystems and products as a whole, right? So it's not necessarily like the hard, fast next step, right? Obviously, you want to invest and you want to level up your skill set, anything from Jacob's going to be gold. And if we're being honest, but I wouldn't necessarily say it's the next step for anything. Like, and that's not just specifically with SAA. That's in general.
Yeah.
Right. You know,
what we would really say is hit us up. Glad to chat to you. I'm not sure who we're speaking to or which group you're in, Nate's or mine, but hit me or Nate up. We're glad to actually have a chat to you and listen to you and see what's going to be like the best fit. But I was just throwing that out there. I kind of started doing bundle deals back in 2021 between SAA and Group Juice as it was rolling out. So if it makes sense for anyone, we're glad to acknowledge that and honor it. So,
or hit up, or if content and conversation is more of your angle, then hit up Thad and Demi. They both got access to SAA too. They can hit you with the sweet ass offer as well, right? Like,
that's what we do.
Makes sense to you. It's all gravy either way, or if it doesn't.
Yeah, and speaking of that, as we're trying or attempting to come to a close, Demi, Thad, folks that want to join y'all's respective groups, what's the best place for them to find you, or the best option for them to get a hold of you?
What, to come join our groups?
Yeah, if they want to find you, talk to you, follow you.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? I mean, feel free to just send a message over. Like, hey, I'd love to come join your group. Like, we can drop it in the comments afterwards if y'all are cool with it. I mean, I don't know what groups you're all okay with us dropping our shit about, but yeah, that's the easiest way to do it. Yeah, we can easily drop our group links.
Come back through and tag your groups in all of the posts. So whether you're watching this in our groups or if you're watching this in Group Juice Box, there will be an option to join Thad and Demi's group. So definitely get in there.
Get in there, swivel around. Fair warning. Fair warning for you all. I got this shirt that says Beardy McSwearman because I use profanity often. Go ahead and tell y'all, so does Thaddeus and so does Demi. Okay, so if that offends you, just be forewarned.
This is the shit that I do.
Yeah, dude, there we go.
But yeah, I know I know I missed a lot and whatnot, but I am a mom. He is the first priority. Things kind of wild. Like I said before, like it's wild up in this house all the time. But yeah, I mean, fuck, if you guys know who we are, obviously our names are here. Send a friend request. Like we're happy to do that. Drop our group. Like it's whatever you guys are cool with. Literally a message away.
Thaddeus' cheeks hurt.
My fucking face hurts. It's like it's a multiple time a week thing. Waylon likes to show out on the lives.
Fuck yeah.
Hey, he's just trying to get his content game up too.
That's it. The dude's gonna be crushing it by the time he's in kindergarten.
How to get attention. Put a bucket on your head and scream profusely at the camera. It works every time. Hell yeah. So I didn't see any more. I think we answered all of the questions, I believe. Appreciate it, Steve. It's good shit. We try and bring the high value at all times. Definitely content, Jeanette. You already know. Any other questions before we end the bucket system? And if you couldn't tell, we are real people. My kids came into the scene a handful of times. Nate's has been back there. I haven't seen Cat Daddy's kids jump up anywhere.
Yeah, they don't want nothing to do with me during the day. They
Gotcha.
only come around when it's food time.
Got you.
The fur babies are hiding.
That's it. Sleeping all
Yeah.
day like a bunch of lazy bums.
Sweet. Well, we appreciate the shit out of you guys for coming to hang out with us today, Thami.
Yep.
And everyone who's been rocking with us the entire time. We appreciate you guys too. Hope like hell that y'all took something from it, whatever that is, whether it was a good laugh or an aha moment, all that good stuff. So we'll get ready to head out and we'll catch y'all. And Waylon says sayonara.
He says, until next time.
I just wanted to say thank you guys for having us on. Thank you guys for watching us live. And yeah, I mean, welcome to the shit show. That's what I say. But this is content all the way around. I mean, yeah.
Hey,
But
if that's
thank
not
you
a
guys.
true testament to making it work.
Man.
Do the
Yeah,
damn
right there.
thing.
Come around, put the bucket on his head. I'm not a mean mom, I swear. But
Wheeler dropping the real truth going on back there.
Spray.
You got the sprayer.
Oh my goodness.
Awesome sauce.
Gotta love it. All right, you guys.
Come back through and I'll tag both of their groups so you guys can get in their worlds, their ecosystems. And again, I appreciate both of you guys. You guys are fucking awesome human beings. Beyond like business, like you guys know, we've got to know each other very well over the last 12 plus months. And yeah, that's about as deep as my emotional.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate y'all having us on. I appreciate everybody rocking with us. It's been a blast. I always enjoy doing these, especially with these two fellas up here. So much appreciated. Much love.
Much love. Love, peace, and chicken grease. We'll catch y'all on the flip side. We'll catch you on the next one. You'll have a kick-ass day. Go and do something you've been wanting to do. We're outie.
Holler.